is sometimes with Kundalini, we have big, powerful, overwhelming physical symptoms, such as headaches. I had headaches for years and years and years. If you ever study any of the great saints, you'll see most of the great saints, if you can kind of get some of their autobiographical text, you'll see they too had headaches. And sometimes there's headaches, sometimes there's heartaches, sometimes there's belly aches. And look, just with headaches in particular, if you have a headache, drink a lot of water. If you have a headache, look at your life and see if you have a lot of stress. But if you drank a lot of water and you don't have a lot of outward stress and you're on a path of Kundalini awakening, there's a good chance that this is purely just an energetic headache. And, if someone looks at you and says, oh, that headache that you have, that migraine, well, it's just energy, and you're the one experiencing it's just energy, you might want to punch that person in the face because it's like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. And like I've had headaches for, at times for like 8 years, just really intense headaches. And, I can say without a doubt, 99% of the time, like those migraines of that intensity was simply the energy of light waking up in my consciousness and trying to expand, but it was trying to expand against resistance. And the resistance was purely unconscious. Like Terry was saying, it was from stuff from past lives, stuff from my childhood, stuff from different incarnations, stuff within the collective. And the light, when it comes into contact with it, well, it just hurts. It hurts. And, we have an egoic mind that lives through repetition, lives through habit, and lives through resistance. And so for many of us, we might have these points of pain, whether it's in the head or the heart or the belly. And, sometimes when it's in the heart, people will say, I'm having heart attacks. Sometimes when it's in the belly, people will say, I've got pancreatic cancer or something crazy, but almost always, it's just old karma that's being burnt up, or it's this energy that's wanting to come online and attempting to expand your consciousness. And because your consciousness is connected to the animal nature of all humans, well, there's this big pile of resistance in the way. And this is part of our work of just being on the cross, is us being on the cross and choosing to open despite how much pain we're in. And keep in mind, like this will bring you to your knees 1,000 times, but we continue to choose to open. And this is what all the great saints have done, all the great spiritual masters. In the modern age, Krishnamurti, if you read his autobiography, you'll see like he just struggled week after week with headaches. Anytime he was about to teach, he'd have these horrific headaches that he would go through like an hour and a half before he would teach. And again, I've had real similar things, and it's just part of the path. It's part of the path. The same thing like with puberty, like sometimes our skin breaks out when those new hormones are coming online. Sometimes headaches are a thing, but the hilarious thing is when they do break, often they break into realms of immense bliss and light and love, and you forget all about that once upon a time that you had headaches. And it'll make somehow, like when you open to bliss, like the idea of having a migraine seems like, oh, that was nothing. Like that was just absolutely nothing. When you're in the migraine, it's like the worst day you've ever had. When it opens and breaks, it's like it never even happened, and it's a total inconsequential thing. And then eventually you get to a point where, the headaches aren't so often, or they don't really come, or, like I don't really have much headaches anymore, but occasionally before I'm teaching a retreat, sometimes an intensity will come online and then it breaks into bliss. And so I'm going to invite you to trust the process, to trust.